Well, good evening, all you Tiger Midget fans. Tonight, the Midgets have traveled over here to Mahanoy Area High School, where they will, well, actually, Lion Mountain High School, where they will take on the Mahanoy Area Vikings. We have the toss of the coin out here going on right now on a crisp autumn evening here at Mahanoy. Not much breeze at all, so that's nice, but the temperature at this game time probably getting down into the low 50s. Mahanoy has won the toss, but deferred till the second half. The Vikings will kick off to the Tigers to begin the ball game tonight, and the Tigers will be traveling from east to west on the football field, or right to left on our camera here, and we'll be set with the Viking kickoff in just 1 second. I want to mention that I left the shop on this Wednesday afternoon, had a meeting in Harrisburg, and forgot to pick up my roster clipboard. So some of these young fellows I will know, and some of them, unfortunately, I have not memorized all their numbers out here, of course, and I will not know some of these guys. So I apologize for that, but we'll try to pick them up from the announcer here as we go along and see what happens. So the opening kickoff coming up on a night game, postponed from Sunday. And this is a Wednesday night now. So we're set to go.
Number 12, Kyle Bingham, and number 40.
Here's the opening kick. And this one's going to come over here. And let's see, it's going to be fallen upon by number 11. And that's that Scott Klinger, rather. And it'll be 1st and 10 now for the Tigers on the 37-yard line of Likens. 1st and 10. Kyle Bingham is the quarterback for the little midgets here. And we'll see what they do on their first play. Bingham will hand it off. This time it's going to be number 30-something. Let's see. 30, that's Nick Rickard, I think, on the carry that time. Maybe not. The announcer wasn't sure who it was either. Klinger checks out of the ball game now as the Tigers send a play in from the coaching staff on the sideline. Gain of 2, it'll be 2nd down and 8. And this time the handoff is going to be to Stinscomb, and he is stopped almost at the line of scrimmage. Not much gain on that one, and it will be 3rd down and about 8. These Vikings have a pretty hefty-sized ball club here. I think there are some pretty big boys out there in this Viking midget team. As Bingham goes back to pass, fires one down the right side. There's a man out there, and it is incomplete. Pass was intended for number 63, and that's that Whitmer, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But it goes as an incompletion, and will bring up 4th down and 9. Stinscomb will go back to punt. And Jason, see if we can get a good punt off now. See what kind of a snap he gets here. Oh, pretty good snap. Ooh, look out, though. All right, nice kick. And it's going to be taken out here at the 45-yard line. And he's across midfield now and still on his feet over on the far side. Goes out of bounds at about the 42 or something like that. We'll see where they spot it. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Little Vikings on the 40-yard line. Well, actually on the, 40-yard line. Okay, 1st and 10, Vikings on the Tiger 40. I think when the Vikings and Tigers played over there at Likens, the Vikings had won that ball game, as I recall. And here's a handoff, and the ball is loose out there, but it's going to be recovered by the Vikings as they got about 3 or 4 yards on the play.
That play was good for
young Viking falling on that one. Picked up 2, 2nd and 8. I think the Tigers are going to need a couple of breaks like that tonight against this Viking outfit. Okay, 2nd down and 8. Here's a handoff, and the big fella 21 racing over this side here, and he's going to go all the way. Brocious around this right side here for a touchdown, and that's a 37-yard line or 38-yard run, something like that for Brocious as he tackles or goes off that right tackle side and just spun it in for a TD. So it's 6-0 Vikings. They'll be looking for their extra point in just a second.
For the extra point.
These guys kick the extra points. So Wenrick back to kick the extra point for the Vikings. Harris, the holder. Harris has placed him down. The kick is no good. It's low. And so it is 6-0 with 5:19 remaining here in the first quarter. The Vikings have scored early. 5 minutes, 19 seconds remaining, 6-0 Vikings. Wenrick will kick off for the Vikings, and Bingaman back to receive this kick. And this is going to be Bingaman. He's got it back here at the 25-yard line, trying to get ahead now. Kyle's still picking up some blocking out there, and wait a minute, lost the ball, I think. But he's out of bounds over the far side at the 35-yard line, about a 10-yard run back for Kyle. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 35. So see if the Tigers can generate a little bit of offense now, solve this Viking defense, and get on the board. Okay, 1st and 10 from their 35. Handoff this time, and going up the middle with it is number 32.
Up the middle, stopped by number 25, Singap.
Who is 32? I'm not sure.
Number was number 32, Byron Hoover.
Oh, Byron Hoover. Okay, of course. Byron picked up 4 on the play to be 2nd and 6. Byron Hoover in that backfield for UD. Next time it's going to be Stinscomb, and Stinscomb gets it to the 40-yard line, maybe a yard on the play, not much more than that, as Jason was stopped almost at the line of scrimmage. That'll be 3rd down and still about 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5 now, as the Tigers are going to need to bust out of this one. Let's see if Bingaman can get something going here. He's going to drop back for a pass. Fires one down this way. Uh-oh, it's going to be picked off out here by the Vikings, who had good coverage down here. As the ball, it was supposed to come out here to Byron Hoover, but 3 Mahanoy defenders were right there, and they pick it off at the 49-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 Vikings. Clock moving with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left here in the first quarter. And the Tigers pressed on defense again here now as the Vikings pick that one off. 1st and 10, Vikes. Handoff is that number 21, and he breaks into the backfield, and Brocious is going to go for a touchdown again here. This time it'll be a 49-yard line touchdown. When he gets into the backfield, he's gone. There's a flag back here, however, and I'm not sure what the flag is, but I think this one might come back. Clipping against the Vikings, so that's going to run bring a 49-yard gallop back by that young fella, and it's going to bring this one back. But gosh, I'll tell you, when he gets into that Tiger backfield, he is just gone. Just a big kid, and probably intimidates some of these fellas, I'm sure, because he's a tall fella. And that's going to bring the ball back now to the 49-yard line and make it a 1st down, and it looked like a 1-yard penalty. I'm not sure where they marked that from. Well, they marked it from the spot of the foul. Okay, because now it's 1st and 11. But it momentarily at least stopped a touchdown run by that big number 21. Well, they really bunch up that backfield here, Mahanoy does. Oops, wait a minute, and this is going to cost them 5 as the right end here raised his hand, got off the ball. And that'll cost him 5 and make it a 1st and 16. So 1st and 16, the ball back now at the 45-yard line of the Vikings.
That'll bring up 1st and 15.
See if the Tigers can dig in there and get a good tackle here out of this. Here's a handoff, and going up the middle again goes this guy. Oh, there he goes again. Well, that's all right. He's going to make it a 55-yard this time for this number 31. Gosh, I don't know what's happening to the Tiger defense, but it's non-existent right here in this ball game so far. So it's now 12-0, and the Vikings will look for their extra point try here in just a moment. Okay, and the Vikings again will try to kick the extra point. Good snap. It's down. Kick is up. Kick is good. Wendrick kicks the extra point that time, so he's got a 2-pointer out of it. It's now 14-0. As this young Wendrick kid here makes a good extra point kick. 14-0 Vikings. 2:16 remaining here in the first quarter. The Vikings now in charge, 14-zip. Okay, Wendrick has it teed up again. He's going to kick off here following their second touchdown. And here it comes. This one's going to come down here near Bingaman. Goes speeding by Bingaman. He'll pick it up at the 17-yard line. And Kyle's got to try to run it over this way, but gets it back to the 22-yard line where he is tackled. And the Tigers will put it in play 1st and 10 on their own 22.
Ball is spotted close to the 22-yard line.
1st and 10, Likens. Stintz comes in the backfield along with Hoover out there for Bingaman for the Tigers. And the third running back back there is a flanker this time, I guess, out on the far side of the field. Okay, 1st and 10, Likens. Bingaman's going to pass, gets a big rush, and he's dragged down back there as number 84 comes in there, or 64 rather, comes in there and makes a stop. Jason Yeager pulls Kyle down back there. Loss of 4 will be 2nd down and 14. Okay, 2nd and 14 now looking at the Tigers. Handoff this time is to Hoover, and Byron straggles over the right side there and gets himself a couple of yards, maybe 5 out of that, or 3 anyway. It'll be 3rd down and 11. Brocious making the stop out there for the Vikings. And Tigers have the ball now right at their own 20-yard line. So going to have to do something big here on a 3rd and 11 with just 34 seconds left here in the first quarter. The way this game is unfolding, I think it's going to be one of those nights when the Tigers are glad to see that clock moving. It just might be, you know, they run into some teams that are more powerful, and I think we might have run into one over here tonight. Anyway, on a 3rd and 11, Bingaman looking, dumping one over there. Ooh, set the screen up, but no, wait a minute, is that a lateral or a pass? I guess it's a pass. It was intended for Stinscombe. And Jason didn't make much of an effort to catch that one. I don't know what happened to that, if he was expecting it or not or what, but at any rate, it's now a 4th down and 11, and the Tigers will punt. Stinscombe called upon to do the punting again. Let's see if he can get a punt off. Now, last time he had a good snap, but a good rush also. So these Vikings may be looking to block this one. Wow, nope, got it off. Nice punt, taken out here, fumbled. Tigers, can they get it? No, it's going to recover. Let's see, who does have it? I think the Tigers do have it. Yes, they do. Okay. Tigers, Klinger comes up with that football. Scott Klinger, oh boy, Scotty, he got the football at the 41-yard line of Likens, and that's going to just about do it as we're down to 3 seconds, 2 and 1. That's going to end the first quarter. So Klinger with a big recovery of that fumbled punt gets the ball back for the Tigers, and we'll be back in just a moment. Well, the ever-loving light pole is right here, and as you can see, it's kind of in our way here. The team will be playing behind the pole here for just a second or two, maybe. We hope the Tigers are going to be traveling left to right now, and as we begin the second quarter, see if they have any better luck traveling east here towards the near full moon out here tonight. Here's the pitch over to someone, and going around the left side over there with a lot of running room is Byron Hoover. And Hoover drives it out to nearly the 50-yard line. A nice run that time by Byron, picked up 8. It'll be 2nd down and 2. One of the best runs from the line of scrimmage for the Tigers tonight. So a good run that time by that young Tiger. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 2. Okay, 2nd down and 2. for Likens. Bingaman looks him over, and he's going to pitch it out this way. And this time it's going to be Hoover. And Byron's got nearly the first down, as they might throw him down a yard short. Good effort that time by Byron Hoover.
And number 28.
Byron doing it out here tonight. He's one of the bigger fellas on the Tiger team, I guess you might say. And he's going to have to carry the load the way it looks. It's going to be short by about a yard. Gain of 1 on the play, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 1. Okay, here we go on a big 3rd and 1. Then the ball is loose, and it's going to be picked up by the Vikings. And it'll be 1st and 10 Vikings at the 41-yard line of the Tigers. So the Tigers stymied here as they were looking for a first down and end up turning the ball over to the Vikings. So these little Vikings are a tenacious little bunch out here. They're all over our Tigers, and they've got the ball back now at the 40-yard line of the Tigers. 1st and 10 as they play behind the pole. See if somebody can sneak out from behind this pole and grab one of these guys. This is Shingara, I believe. Yeah, and Shingara drives it to the 35-yard line. So it'll be a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Rusty Rust-Oleum Gunder in there making the stop, the announcer said that time, for the Tigers. So good job, Rusty. Here's that 13 with the ball, and he is grabbed on to immediately by number 62 or 3 in there, and number 78, I believe, also, or 79 or 8, whatever that is out there. Got a stop on him. George Hunter making the stop that time for Likens. Gain of only a yard or so on the play, bring up a 3rd down and maybe 4. Gotta watch that big 31 springing around out here. .31 has it, up the middle he goes, and this time he is going to get the first down as Levi Clock drives it down to the 30-yard line or 25-yard line, something like that. It's a first down anyway for the Vikings, and we've got 4 minutes and 43 seconds remaining here. Mace coming in for the stop there. Dustin making that stop. Dustin's also the center on the offensive line. Number 40 out there. Dustin does a good job centering that football for the Tigers. Just made a good job, a good tackle on the defense. 1st and 10, the Vikings. 25 with it, Shingara, and he dives ahead to the 20-yard line. Picking up 5 yards on a shot this time, as Hunter again making the stop out there for the Tigers. No, he did not pick up 5. He picked up about 4, we'll say. It'll be 2nd down and 6. 2nd down, 6. Motion goes over on the right side. Pitches over there to that big number 31. And he is grabbed on a good tackle by Hunter again, I believe it was in there. Yep, that George Hunter playing some good defense out that time again now, as he has made his 3rd consecutive stop in a row, I believe. And that was a good low ankle tackle that time by George on the big lad. And not too much on that one. It's going to bring up 3rd down and about 4. So George Hunter doing a good job defensively in there for the Tigers right now. Here's 22 with it, and he will not make it as he is spun back here after a yard or so. Whole bunch of guys tackling in there on him. 57 for the Tigers, one of them. Gunder, I believe, might have been in there on that stop too. No, it wasn't Gunder. I'm not sure who it was, but at any rate, it's 4th down and 3. Well, the Tiger defense toughening up here a little bit, at least at this point. We'll have to watch that big 13 and 31. 2 guys with 3s and 1s on their shirt. It's going to be 31. He's got the first down as he drives into the backfield. 35 coming up there to make the stop for the Tigers, but it is a first down. Nick Rickert making the tackle that time, on a good low tackle that time by the Nixter, but it is a first down for the Vikings with 2.5 minutes left here in the first half. They have a comfortable 14-0 lead right now, and they're looking to add to that a little bit here. So the Tiger defense trying to keep them off the board here before halftime. Quarterback dumps it over the middle. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. Number 28 has got it. Tressler, I think his name is, goes in unopposed as he broke into that Tiger backfield, and he was 5 yards deep before anyone knew he was back there, I guess. And the little quarterback, little lefty quarterback, just dumped that one right in there and got them their 20th point. It's 20-0 now with 2:08 left here in the first half. And again, number 13 will be in there to try to kick this extra point. Wenrick will see if he can get his second consecutive extra point. Harris has the ball, puts it down, kick is up, blocked. Partially, all right. Good attempt on the block anyway for the Tigers to keep that extra point off the board, but it's 20-0 now with 2:08 remaining here in the ball game, or in the first half. Well, with 2:06 remaining here in the half, the Vikings have her teed up. Here's the kick. Ooh, a little squib kick, and going to be downed out here by the Tigers as number 55, Rusty Gonder, downs it at the 48-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10 now for Lycans at their own 48. 1st and 10, Tigers on their own 48. Bingaman hands this one off, and it's going to be Nick Rickard, I believe, with that ball that time. Yeah, it was. The Nickster Rickard runs it for maybe 1 yard to the 49. It'll be 2nd down and 9 as they huddle up behind the post. Okay, 2nd down and 9. Bingaman hands this one off to Stinscombe, and Stinscombe over the middle for a couple of yards. He drives it to the 47-yard line of the Vikings, picking up about 4 or so, and we have a Tiger down on the play, and we'll be back after this Tiger timeout. Looks like he might have got bumped in the back. Anyway, 3rd and 3, or 3rd and a long 3 coming up when we come back. Dustin Mace, the young Tiger, injured on that play, and we hope Dustin's going to be okay, as he is walking off on his own power anyway, helped there by Mr. Savage. But at any rate, it is going to be a 3rd down and a long 3 or 4 maybe, looking at the Tigers now. A new center into the ball game, and he is number 59, I think, out there for Lycans. Handoff this time, and going around the left side over there is that number 63, and that's Whitmer, I believe. A flag is thrown in there, and Hunter, and he gets what looks like enough for the first down, but there's a flag back here where generally holding shows its ugly head. And we'll see what happened here. They're going to talk. Yeah, it's holding against Lycans. Ah, darn it. Nullifies a 1st down run by George Hunter.
5 yards.
And that's going to bring the Tigers back 10, back to the 43-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and about 14 now for Lycans. Perhaps the last play of the first half coming up here now as the clock winds down to 12 seconds. Bingaman's going to pass it. He's looking for a receiver. Stinscombe's over here. Stinscombe has it, and he is tackled almost immediately. A gain of about 1 yard or 2 on that play. And we've got a 1 second. That did it. The half ended on that play. So a cold, crisp evening here shows the Tigers trailing at the end of the halftime. 20-0. And we'll be back with the final half in just a second. The Tigers just having a difficult time getting it going here against these bigger Vikings, no question about it. And kind of a depressed Tiger group here going into that halftime huddle. So we'll be back with the second half, see if we can do a little better here in just a moment. Well, the teams are back on the field, and as you can see on the second half here now, the Vikings will receive the kick, and we'll be set to go here in just a moment with the second half. We hope it's a better half for our Tigers than the first half was. Tigers got blitzed 20-zip here in the first half, but we'll see if they have a little bit of spark left in them here and can come out and give these Vikings a good ball game here in the second half. They're going to sure try, and we'll be back to see how they make out. Coach Kreiser and Savage over here, getting the fellas pepped up here to begin this second half of play. See if we can get a break or two here and at least get on the scoreboard, avoid the shutout. But to begin the second half now, we're going to have Kyle Bingaman teeing it up to kick it off here.
Second half. Each to receive for Mahanoy, number 21, Brett Trojan.
Let's see if Kyle can get a good kickoff off here. Here it comes. Boom. It's a short one. Going to bounce around over there, and let's see. Be downed over there by a Viking as number 24, Harris, falls on it for his little Vikes. And it is now 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. Oh, we'll see if the Tiger defense can dig in there now. They had stopped the bigger fellas a couple of times here, and big guys ran a couple of touchdowns, and then they had that absolutely free pass for a touchdown last score that the Vikings made. But otherwise, there's been some pretty darn good defensive plays out here by our little guys tonight. So let's see if we can start off here with a good defensive series or what. Pitch comes over this way. That's at 21, and he gets away from a couple of guys, and look out. Oh, well, maybe I spoke too soon. Brocious is going to go all the way for a 47-yard, or rather a, let's see, 57-yard touchdown run. And that makes it a 27-0 ball game. Well, I don't know. These kids get in the backfield, and, you know, the Tigers are definitely outmanned here tonight. The Vikings are just big. These guys are 6 inches taller, and that when you're that age and that size, that makes one heck of a difference. And extra point kick try coming up here. As Wenrick will try to kick it again here. Well, he gets it down, and that's no good, as the snap was high, and the holder could not get it down very well for him, and so it goes an incompletion. Not the holder or the kicker's fault on that one. So it's a 26-0 ball game, and the Tigers will get the ball back. 26-zip with 7:23 left in the third. Stinscomb and Bingaman in to receive this punt now as they get set to go here. Here's the kick. It's a low bounding kick rolling over this way where Bingaman may watch it go out of bounds, and he does. As it rolls out down here, there'll be a flag on that and penalize them 5 yards unless the Tigers elect to take it, of course. But I would imagine they would want that kicked over and get us a chance for a run back. And or are they going to take it right there? Maybe they take it there. Maybe there isn't any option. I'm not sure. They're going to spot it at the 35-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10. Illegal procedure is the call against the Vikings, but that's just because the kick went out of bounds, and the Tigers will take over on the 35.
Likens declines and will take possession of the ball on their own 35-yard line.
Bingaman, he'll be working back there with Stinscomb and Hoover, I think. And let's see, this is going to be Stinscomb, and Stinscomb is grabbed out there as number 31 picked him up almost immediately, and not any gain on that play. It'll be 2nd down and 10. 2nd down and 9. Actually, Jason did get 1 out of that. 2nd and 9. Pitch over that way, and let's see, this is going to be Hoover, and he is spun to the line of scrimmage, and that's about all. But boy, oh, Kyle was hit that time right as he threw that lateral over there to Hoover, and gosh, it just more or less flung Kyle and the ball over that way, and Hoover ran it back to the original line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd and 10. Tigers just having a terrible time out here with these guys from Mahanoy. Third and 10. Oh, let's see. The ball's on the floor, or on the ground, I mean, and the Vikings have recovered it. Number 26 in there picking up that ball for the Vikings, and so Mahanoy will take over on their own, or rather on the Tiger 34-yard line, 1st and 10. 30 back here in the defensive back. I didn't notice him before, but that's Jim Buffington, I think. Right there, number 30. Anyway, handoff here, and going up the middle is Shingara. He runs it to the 30-yard line, pick up about 4. It'll be second down and 6. 57 in there on the stop, I think. Nick Rickert also for the Tigers. Gain of a long 3 or 4. It'll be second and a long 6. Second down. Pitch over there to that number 25, Shingara. Shingara is grabbed by Stinscomb and also tackled over there by that number 70. Let's see, what is it? Oh, can't pick up his number. He's checking his shin pads there, or knee pads. 76 or something like that. He was in there on that stop also for the Tigers. Gained about a yard or so. It'll be third down and 6. Ball just inside the 30-yard line of Likens. 4:10 remaining here in the third quarter. Handoff, and going up the middle this time is that big number 21. Can he fight him off? No, as at this time Buffington comes up there to make the stop, along with number 81, and I missed his name. But here he is, that young fella there, that little guy. See, the runner had to be a foot taller than him. But he was gutsy enough to come up there and make that good stop. So timeout called for the official timeout that time. As I think Buffington might have been shaken up a little bit on that play. He leaves the ball game. Clock now set back in motion with 3:55 left in the third. And the ball at the 17-yard line of the Tigers. First and 10. Pass play coming up here. Little lefty quarterback looking. Oh, and now he slips down and is going to be tagged down back at the 25-yard line. 63 George Hunter in there giving credit for that, but Paul actually slipped on the play going back to make the pass. The grass is probably getting a little damp now as the dew settles here, as the temperature drops down into the upper 50 or upper 40s or lower 50s, I would think now. It is cool, and loss of about 6 on the play. It'll be second and 16. Here's that number 22, and he's tackled in there by number 79 on a good stop. Whitmer was the ball runner. 79 is Eric Matter, and Eric with a good stop. Gain of only about a 2 on the play. It'll be third down and about 14. Ball now at the 23-yard line of the Tigers. Third and about 14. Oh, hold everything, as number 45 of the Vikings took off a little early, and that'll cost them 5. Okay, third down and about 20 now, or 19, something like that. Here's a handoff. Up the middle goes that number 31, and he is off to the races once again, and he'll go in for a touchdown. No flags on the play. And that's a 28-yard touchdown run that time by that young lad from the Vikings. And it's now 32 zip with 2:13 remaining in the third period. I'm not sure if they have a cutoff like, you know, in softball, if you're winning 10-0, it's over or something. I don't know if they have that, or do they let the time run? And maybe they let the time run here in the fourth quarter. I don't know. Anyway, here's the quarterback looking for an extra point, and he's going to run it in for an extra point. So the QB runs one in and gets them their 33rd point. And it's now 33-0, and the Tigers will be looking for the kickoff in just a second. 33 zip with 2:13 remaining in the third quarter. Okay, here comes that Viking kick now following their umpteenth touchdown. And the kick this time is going to be over there. Stinscom's got it. And Jason at the 45 dives to the, or I beg your pardon, 35. Drives it up to the 41 or 42-yard line where it'll be first and 10 Tigers.
Number 82, Arlen Weichel.
Tigers just having absolutely no luck at all on the offense tonight against this tough Viking defense. And they're going to try it again, though, here at the 42. First and 10 from the 42 for the Tigers. Bingaman this time drops straight back. He's dumping one over the right side. It is incomplete. Number 63, George Hunter, was the intended receiver, I believe. But it goes as an incompletion and will bring up a 2nd down and 10. Okay, 2nd and 10 now for the Tigers. And this time Bingaman's going to drop back. Looks over the right side. Fires one out there. It is incomplete. He trapped it. Number 22 trapped it. Stinscombe was the intended receiver, but Kyle's pass just a little bit low that time and off the mark. And Whitmer almost picked it off for the Vikings, but he trapped that one. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. Yeah, we're in a ball game here now, a 33-0 ball game. And the Vikings with a couple of spares on the sideline. You would think maybe sooner or later, maybe in the 4th quarter, they'll put some of the other littler fellas in, especially on the offensive part of the game. Here's a pass over here now for Byron Hoover. And Hoover gets about a yard out of it, maybe. Not much. And Byron was hit almost about at the line of scrimmage. So, yeah, about 1 yard will be 4th down and 9. Anyway, as I was saying, these things come and go, though. You know, the Tigers had some big boys on the midgets last year who are now playing 9th grade high school football. And they pretty much dominated a lot of the ball teams last year. And I think that's where the Vikings are this year, as they have a couple of good-size backs there that can really move the football. And they have the little guys more or less intimidated, I guess. But, you know, our guys will get bigger and whatever. Here's Buffington on a fake punt. Passes it out here, incomplete. Pass intended for Bingaman. So that was going to be James Buffington passing one to quarterback Bingaman, but pass goes as an incompletion. It'll be 1st and 10 now for the Vikings. Clock stopped with 31 seconds remaining here in the 3rd period. Now it's wound up in motion again. Tigers say thank God for that. And Vikings will put the ball in play with maybe a play remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Clock now less than about 15 seconds left here in the 3rd. Okay, 1st and 10 from the 42. Pitch over there to that number 21. Heading around the left side over there. He gets away from one would-be tackler and now finally dragged down out there as 78 comes up and makes a good low tackle on him. Finished off over there by a couple of other young fellas, but 78, I think, was the first one. Eric Motter. Well, they say it's 79. Okay, looks like an 8 from here. 79 Motter. Rusty Gonder over there also in on that stop, well, along with another Tiger. Who I didn't pick up. But anyway, that ended the 3rd period. One more quarter to go. It's 33-0 at the end of 3. Okay, 3rd quarter underway. Handoff and going up the middle with a ripper here is Shingara, I believe. He's got a couple of yards. Was it Shingara? No, it wasn't. It was 33, I believe. Robbie Zack or something like that. Got himself a couple of yards. It wasn't Shingara. I thought it was, but it wasn't. And now they do have some of the big guys out of there. So that's good. See that the Vikings are playing it a little saner, I guess. And here's number 21. He's one of the big guys, though. And Brocious is tackled after a gain of a couple. We'll bring up a 3rd down and about 4.
Number 61, Ronald Perkins.
Ron Perkins in there on the stop that time for the Tigers, they say. All right. 3rd down and about a long 3 or 4. Ball now resting right at the 25-yard line of the Tigers. Breeze starting to blow now, and it's getting cold. 22 is hit on a good tackle by Byron Hoover, along with number 57 out there, the Tigers. But Hoover making that initial hit. You could hear it from up here. Good stop in there by that Byron Hoover. No gain on the play. It'll be 4th and 3. He might have gained maybe a half a yard that time. So bring up a 4th down and 3. I'd like to see the Tigers hold them here just for the heck of it. 4th and 3. This time it's going to be that 21 with it, and he's got the 1st down, driving all the way into the secondary, where he's finally stopped in there by George Hunter. And he made the stop on that big number 21. He's going to come out. Shingara checks back into the ball game along with number 13. So now they are putting some of the, they're changing some of the heavy hitters out here now for the little Vikings. It's first and 10, the ball at the 15-yard line.
20-yard line.
First and 10. Shingara in motion. Handoff there to that little 33 guy. That's that Zach or Zach or whatever they're calling him. Anyway, he gets a couple of yards. Maybe drove ahead for maybe 2. It'll be second down and 8. Second and 8 for the Vikings as the Tigers try to dig in again here and hold these guys once. Pitch over here for Shingara and coming up to make the tackle, and the ball comes loose. And let's see what happened there as Hoover was in there real quickly. Byron Hoover caused the fumble that time as he made the good hit, and then the ball popped out of Shingara's hand, and it was recovered in there by the Tigers. So Lycans with a break here now, and if they hope to get on the board, they've got 4 minutes and 50 seconds to work with. Yeah, that's what remains in the ball game. So we'll have to see if the Tigers can get something going now, as the only thing they can hope for is to avoid the shutout. And the Vikings are going to try to prevent that. So here is Bingaman. He pitches it over there for that Stinscomb, and Jason, maybe to the line of scrimmage, maybe one, not much more than that. It'll be second down and 10. No gain on the play. Definitely turning into a 2-glove night tonight. Now, I should have brought my gloves along. It's getting cold. The wind's picking up. On a second and 10, here's a handoff over there to Hunter, and Hunter is dropped in the backfield for a loss of 3 or 4 yards on the play. It'll bring up third down and about 14. Okay, on a third down and about 14, Bingaman has it. He's looking. Over here comes a pass for Stinscomb, but it is incomplete. As defending out there, number 28 and number 23.
Number 28, Jason Fessler. Number 20,
Fessler and
Matt Paul.
Paul defending on that play for the Vikings. Bring up a fourth down and 14. And the Tigers are going to have to punt that ball out of there, I would believe, or unless they want to just keep it there and run it. I don't know. 2:57 is all that remains in the ball game. 33-zip is the score, and the Tigers will go for it. All right, let's see what happens here. Bingaman drops straight back. He's looking. Down the left side, he fires one. Got a man out here, but it's overthrown a little bit. Looks like it might have been Rickard. I'm not sure. Let's see.
Number 30.
Yeah, I think it was. Nah, it wasn't James Buffington. I don't know who that was for, but anyway, the Vikings will take over. 2.5 minutes left in the game. The Vikings set it up on a first and 10. Pitch back over here to that number 21. Flag is thrown, and he is dropped as 2 Tigers come up there. Stinscomb is one of them, and the other fellow here is this number 35 or 36, Jer Szymanski, playing a little bit of midget football this evening, and holding called against Mahanoy anyway, so it's a 10-yard penalty and the ball coming back. And Mahanoy now with some wholesale changes coming into the ball game. Now the big guys are definitely out, and we're looking at a first down and 20.
Marked off against Mahanoy, bringing up a first down.
New quarterback in there. Now 13 is now at the quarterback. And he'll pitch it back here to Shingara, who dribbles it one time, picks it back up, and then he's going to be tackled as the Tigers come in on him very quickly that time. And number 63, George Hunter, in there with a defensive play. 1:40 remaining in the ball game. Here's a handoff to that little number 33, and Zach is sacked back there. He's knocked down after almost no gain on the play, maybe a yard. He might have squeezed a yard out of that. That'll bring up third down and very long. Now we're down to a minute remaining, so we're going to say that's going to do it for tonight's ball game. As far as the Tigers are concerned, it looks like they could end up losing 33-0 here to Mahanoy. And they're going to have to regroup and see who we can beat on Sunday. I think we have Williams Valley coming up here. Shingara rushes for a couple of yards across the 30 down to about the 28-yard line. Bunch of Tigers in there after him. Rusty Gunner getting up off the bottom of the pile. Clock down to 33 seconds and the clock running now. Anyway, we'll regroup and try to beat those Williams Valley Vikings on Saturday or on Sunday down at Likens. In the sunshine, we hope, in the afternoon. So about ready to close up the store tonight on this one. Clock down to 10 seconds. Last play of the ball game coming up here. So we congratulate the Vikings and we console the Tigers, as there's now a 5-yard penalty going to be called on the play with just 2 seconds left. So we'll hang in there for the final 2 seconds, get this one play off. And in fact, if they start the clock as soon as it's marked off, then this may have been the last play of the game. It is. The clock will start. Nope. It is. That was it. There's no time on the clock, and it looks as though the game is over. But no, wait, a little confusion here now. The one ref was going to start it down here, and the other ref didn't. So this the last play of the game. It's a 2 seconds were on the clock, so this is okay. Back goes the quarterback to pass. Behind the pole he goes. He's getting a big rush. He's getting nailed, thrown down, and that's going to do it as clock is thrown back by Byron Hoover. And that did it. The time finally expired, and the final score is the Tigers 0 and the Mahanoy Vikings 33. Well, catch you later at the next ball game. Good night. Good luck, fellas, and let's try to do a little better on Sunday. Well, good afternoon again, all you Likens Tiger Midget fans. This afternoon, the Tigers will take on the Williams Valley Vikings here at Tiger Stadium. The Tigers have won the toss, elected to receive. They'll be defending the south goal here at Tiger Field as we get set for this afternoon's ball game. Looks like the Tigers are wound up for this one, coming off a big loss just the other night over at Line Mountain when they met the Mahanoy area Vikings, the other Vikings in the league. And they were blitzed over there 33-0. But tonight, or this afternoon, they look like they're out to avenge that loss at the hands of these Williams Valley Vikings. So we'll find out what happens here at this beautiful, beautiful afternoon. It is just a gorgeous afternoon. A little bit of clouds over the mountains north of here, but otherwise just a sun-drenched and a slightly wind-swept field here this afternoon. So the Tigers will receive the opening kick. I think I may have said the Tigers would kick, did I? If I did, I was mistaken. The Vikings are going to kick. And the Tigers will send back Bingaman and Stinscomb to receive this opening kick. I think we're ready to go here now as the Tigers have, or the Vikings have it set up. And here we go, the opening kick. Nice kick down here, got it picked up by Stinscomb. He drops it, picks it up at the 27-yard line, struggles ahead to the 30-yard line, and that's about as far as Stinscomb can get. Jason knocked down at the 31, they'll call it. So it'll be 1st and 10, Tigers from their own 31-yard line. Okay, Kyle Bingaman, the quarterback, sets them up on a 1st and 10. Kyle hands this one off. Up the middle going with a good run is Byron Hoover. And Byron drives it out there for a couple of yards. Nice run there by that Byron Hoover. Picked up 4, 2nd down and 6. Mace is the quarterback. Dustin Mace, the center, I beg your pardon, for the Tigers. He's the center out there. Here's Bingaman handing this one off to Stinscomb, I believe, and Jason tripped up nearly at the line of scrimmage. Not much on that one. It'll be 3rd down and a long 5. Brandon Keister on the last stop. Here's Bingaman looking to fire one. Pumps one straight up in the air. It's incomplete.
pass attempt
intended for Scott Klinger, I guess,
Incomplete.
out here, but goes an incompletion, will bring up a 4th down and
Joshua
6.
Knoll there on the coverage for the
Tigers will punt the ball away now. Stinson goes back to punt it, gets a good snap, and the punt is a wobbly one. Flops around out here near the 50-yard line, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 49.
45 and rolls out of bounds.
And it will be 1st and 10 now for the little Vikings on their own 49-yard line. 32 goes in motion over to the far side. Hand has the football. Hands it to number 30. He squirts over that right side, and look out. He is really running hard, and that's James Dieter, and he may go all the way, a 51-yard touchdown run on the first play from scrimmage for the Vikings. So the Viking midgets look like they've got some power out there as that young fella scampered 51 yards on the very first play and makes it a 6-0 ball game. Vikings on top. Here's that extra point try coming up. It looks like they're going to try to kick it. The placement's down, the kick is up, kick is blocked. I think Rusty Gonder might have got a hand on that one. And makes it a 6-0 ball game, and the Tigers will get the ball back.
Please report to the announcer's booth to claim your prizes.
Here's the kick following the touchdown. Going to go over there toward Bingaman. And let's see, Bingaman picks it up, and he's racing back here with it. Comes all the way out here to the 44-yard line. Good run back there by Kyle Bingaman. Picked that ball up down around his own 10, ran it back to the 44. So a nice run back by Kyle, and they'll set it in play in 1st and 10 on their own 44. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Handoff this time is to Stinscombe. He is grabbed by one leg back there by number 75, who drug him down after he
Paul Heaney and Eric Palva
tripped him up. Paul Heaney on this stop there for the little Vikings.
No gain
on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 for the little Tigers. Motion coming over this way. Wait a minute. Too many men in motion, and this will cost the Tigers 5. Okay, the penalty was actually against the Vikings. Bring up 2nd and 5. Motion over this way. Bingaman dropping back. He's going to dump one over on the far side. It's intercepted over there, and number 30 will go all the way as he just picked off that pass. James Dieter takes it in for the score, as the pass was just lobbed out there, trying to hit one guy in the flat, and it happens sometimes. The defense came right up there, and Dieter picked it off and took it in for the score. He ran it back about 45 yards. And it's quickly a 12-0 ball game now, as the Vikings have scored twice here in short order. And again, they will attempt the kick.
Aaron Hand lining up to do the kicking towards her.
Placement's down, kick is up. Kick is good.
It's good.
And it's now a, I always forget how many they get for that. They get 2 to kick it. It's now 14-0 Vikings.
Leaves the score and scum deep for the Tigers.
Here's the 3rd kick of the half for this Zerby guy, and he kicks this one down here, and it's going to be picked up by Stinscombe at the 32, at the 35, and knocked down at about the 39-yard line.
Tackled there by James Dieter.
Or check it, the 29-yard line. Dieter making the stop up there. And it will be 1st and 10. Tigers.
Tigers are going to have it 1st and 10 from the 30.
1st and 10, Tigers at their own 30-yard line now as the Tigers try to get some offense going here. Here's Bingaman. He's going to fire one over the far side. It is complete over there as Byron Hoover receives that pass for a 1st down, I believe. Or no, it won't be a 1st down.
By James and Kevin Dieter.
Gain of 8 maybe on the play.
Penalty
and
on
a flag on the play also, and it's gone against the Tigers. So this play will be nullified as the Vikings will back them up on the penalty. Too bad, as Hoover picked off that pass that time, and it's going to be a 10-yard or 15. 10-yard penalty, I guess it is. Holding is the call. And it'll bring up a
1st
down and 22. So unfortunately, it looked as though we might have had our first good gain, and instead we end up being penalized on it. So we'll try it again. Goes Bingaman. He's rolling back, looking, done a dump one. We got a man out here, and this is Stinscombe, and Stinscombe is tackled by number 30, pair of 30s there.
Jim Buffington.
Or Jim Buffington, I beg your pardon. Jim Buffington with the reception of that pass that time. And he got about 8 or so, 9, 10 yards on the play. Bring up a second down and about 13 almost.
10 yards.
Second down and 12. Handoff, and going up the middle with it here is that number 25, Nick Rickert, or 35, I mean, Nick Rickert in there for the Tigers. Got about 4 yards. Jason Bowman making the stop out there. Formerly Wickenisco, now Tower City's own Jason Bowman making a stop. I happen to know Jason. And a nice young fella makes the stop on that Tiger that time. That'll bring up a third down and 9. So the Tigers showing a little life here now on the offense. On a 3rd and 9, however, need to get a big one here. Whoops, wait a minute. The ball squirted loose out there. And it will be a 4th down now as the Tigers lost a couple more yards on that play. Bring up a 4th and about 12. Buffington will try to punt this one away now on a 4th and 12. He gets a good snap. No, he's going to pass it. Fires one downfield. Got a man out here. Oh, incomplete. As Kyle Bingaman was the intended receiver. Kyle just could not catch up to that one. And so it'll be turned over to the Vikings on the Tiger 28-yard line. 1st and 10, Vikings. 1st and 10, Vikings now. On the Lycans 28. Motion goes 32 over on the right side. Quarterback is looking for 32. Passes one down there. It is complete at the 10. And he's going to go in for the touchdown. So the very first play, they strike on a big pass play from the quarterback to that Dieter again. And that play there really worked nicely as the quarterback was able to find Dieter, who went in motion and just flopped it out there to him, and he made just a nice catch on it and went in for 6 more. It's now 20-0 with the extra point try once again coming up here for the Vikings. And they're going to try that kick again. It was successful last time. Good snap. Kick is down. Kick is up. Kick is no good. This time it's going to be wide to the left. And so the score remains 20-0. Now the Vikings on top. Well, Zerby will once again tee it up here for the Vikings now as they continue to kick off, score, and kick off. Here's the kick, going over the left side this time. The ball rolls dead, picked up by Kyle Bingaman. He's going to go at the 30-yard line and still on his feet. Now he's at the 34 or so, and stopped right there. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Colva, among others, making the stop out there for the Vikes. Well, looks like it might, and that ended the quarter.
The end of the first quarter.
First quarter comes to an end now with the Vikings well on top. It's 20-0 at the end of 1. Okay, the Tigers have the ball now as we change the second for the second quarter here. Now they're heading south. Maybe that'll be better for them. And let's see. Bingaman this time will hand it off. Coming around this side is that number 63 or 83. What is that? Is that an 8 or 6? George Hunter.
Comes around the left side.
Yeah, Hunter gets a couple of yards out to the 39-yard line.
For the Vikings.
James Dieter making the stop for
Bring up
Williams Valley.
For the Tigers.
Gain of 4 that time. 2nd and 6. Jim Buffington checks into the ball game for the Tigers. He'll replace Nick Rickert for Lycans. And we'll see if we can't get a score on the board before halftime. Now we're only in the second quarter. Uh-oh. Looks like the right side there may have moved a little bit. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 probably. Tigers are marched back 5. 2nd and 11 coming up now. Here's Bingaman. Handing it off, fumble on the play, and looks like Williams Valley has it.
Covered by the Vikings.
I believe the Vikings have it at the Tiger 30-yard line, big at the 31-yard line, first and 10. The Vikings, Aaron Hand fell on that loose football for the Vikes. And the little Vikings have it, and they're in the driver's seat now once again here as they mount the pressure against the Tigers. And we'll see what they do on a first and 10 from the 31-yard line of Likens. Quarterback hands it off. Speeding up there is number 19, I believe it was, 18. He's got about 2 yards, Chuck Promineski. Got 2, he's second down and 8, not too much on that one.
And a 2 on the play.
Aaron Hand, the little QB here for the Vikings, sets him up now on a second down and 8. This time it's going to be that number 21 skipping across the 20-yard line down to about the 18.
Tackled there by Byron Hoover.
Byron Hoover, number 32, and Jim Buffington, number 30 of the Tigers making the stop.
Down.
But it's first and 10 now for the little Vikings from about the Tiger 18. Here we go on a first and 10. Motion over to this side. Hand off to the second guy through the end. That number 80 is speeding along there. Dieter gets inside the 10. The whistle had blown. The ball came loose, but the whistle had blown.
Ready, go!
Ball looks like it's placed on about the 9. It'll be second down and 2. Second and 2. Motion goes over on the left side this time. And Hand hands it to that number 28, and he is tackled immediately on a good stop in there by number 63 of the Tigers, bringing him down. Promineski not allowed much on that one. In fact, stopped at about the line of scrimmage. No gain. George Hunter with the stop that time for Likens. Hand sneaks it up the middle for the first down, perhaps, as he's going to get awful close. I think it may be a first down. Looked like he might have gotten enough, but whether they'll measure it or what, I don't know. They're spotting the ball down. They haven't made the official signal yet. How does it look? Are they going to measure it? Nope, they're going to call it first and goal. Nope, first and goal, they say.
They're calling it first and goal.
Ball probably somewhere around the 7-yard line or 8, something like that. But it's first and goal now.
First and goal.
Vikings looking to put their 26th point on the board here in the first half. Pitches it back here. Oh, hey, good stop made it there by that number 32, Byron Hoover.
By Byron Hoover.
Boy, did Hoover come up and put a pop on him that time. Drove it back to the 15-yard line. And Dieter was nailed immediately as Byron Hoover flew in there and just put the old stopperoo on him at the 15. So it'll be second and goal from the 15-yard line now.
Lost about 7 on that play. We'll bring up second and goal from about the 15.
Hand back in the shotgun formation this time. Dumps it right over the middle for a TD.
And the pass is complete. Eric Zerby.
85 is Eric Zerby, and Zerby won the really quick hit right over the middle. Hand got the snap on the shotgun formation. Immediately dumped it right over the middle to that young fella, and he went in for 6. 26 zip, extra point try coming up. And again, the Vikings will try to kick this one.
Hand to try for the extra 2 points.
Hand is the kicker. High snap, ball's down, kick is up. The kick is good.
Good. Kick is good.
It's now 28-0. The Tigers are really going to have to regroup now just to stay in it at all.
Up for the Vikings.
Okay, here's Zerby, whose foot has got to be getting tired now, his leg. Anyway, here's the kick right back here for Bingaman at the 20. He's at the 25. Now he's at the 29-yard line where he is tackled.
At the 29-yard line.
And it'll be first and 10 Likens on their own 29. Kevin Dieter coming up to make the stop for those Vikings. Okay, now let's see what the Tigers can do from the 30-yard line, first and 10. Pitches over this way, and Stinscomb to the 35, and look out, Stinscomb still moving, dragging ahead here now down to the 46-yard line of the Vikings. The best run of the day by the Tigers. That's at Jason Stinscomb, who gives the Tigers a little bit of life here now, dragging it all the way to the 46-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10. I think that might be the first time this afternoon that the Tigers have been in Viking territory. And we'll see if they can keep her going here now and get on the board before halftime. We're in the second quarter. Plenty of time remaining, I would think. Motion over to the right side. Pitch is over that way. This is Hoover. Byron's going to try to turn it upfield now. He's got a couple of yards and dives to the 40. Not a bad run that time. He's picked up about 6 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4 the way it looks from here. Second down and a long 3. Bingaman dropping straight back. Dumps one down this side over here. And it is incomplete. Number 30 broke it up there. That's James Dieter breaking it up. And it will be 3rd down and about 3 or so. Okay, 3rd down.
3rd and
3.
And 3.
Binghamton passing again. It is, just off the fingertips over here. Ay, ay, ay. Byron just could not quite catch on to that one. And it'll go as they bring up a 4th down and about 4.
And about 3 to go for the 1st.
Dale Alvord checking into the ball game now to replace Klinger for the Tigers. This is play number 33, they call it. So we'll see what this one amounts to. 4th down, and the Tigers need about 4. Bingaman back to pass. Fires one over here. It is complete on a nice catch over here as Nick Rickard makes a fine diving catch on that one. And it is 1st and 10. And the Tigers, I think, have called a timeout. Tigers called timeout on the 30-yard line. It's 1st and 10 Lycans.
Set the ball down on the 30-yard line where the Tigers have it 1st and 10.
Okay, 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line now as the Tigers get a edge closer here. Here's Bingaman passing, fires one over on this side, incomplete. Stinscomb was the intended receiver that time, but just a little bit beyond Stinscomb's reach. And so it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10, stops the clock with the ball on the Viking 30-yard line. 2nd and 10. Buffington passing it again, dumps it down the far side over there. It is incomplete. Interference is going to be called. Interference will be called, I think, on number 12 of the Vikings, but at any rate, interference is going to be the call. Somebody was held up out there. And let's see. Yep, and let's see. They're going to mark this one all the way down to the 15-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers on the Viking 15. So now, by golly, if the Vikings want to, or if the Tigers want to get on the board, now has been their best opportunity of the afternoon. Got Byron Hoover back there along with Rickard in the immediate backfield for the Tigers. Stinscomb also. And this time it's going to be Bingaman again. He's going to roll out on the right side over there. Can he tuck it away? Nope, he's going to fire into the end zone. It is incomplete.
Looks like Dale Alvord.
Dale Alvord may have been out there, but it goes an incompletion. And we'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
2nd and 10 for the Tigers.
2nd and 10 now for Lycans at the 15. Uh-oh, hold everything. Got a problem, and let's see what happened here. Illegal procedure against the Vikings, or against the Tigers.
We'll mark 5 yards off for that.
Takes it back to the 20.
And we'll make it 2nd
It'll be 2nd and 15 now for the little Tigers. 2nd and 15 from the 20. Byron Hoover has the handoff momentarily, but then he dropped it. and it's going to be recovered by the Tigers as Hoover picked up the loose football, and timeout's going to be called by the Tigers. Bring up a third down and about 12 or 13 after we come back. Okay, the timeout is over, and the Tigers looking at a third down and a long 12 or 13. Ball at about the 18 or about the 18-yard line. Bingaman's going to drop straight back. He's getting a big pursuit in there. It's going to be dragged down as we're 71 and 75 converge on him out there.
Paul
Heaney, one of those out there, and Kevin Hoover
leading that charge for the Vikings.
Putting the big hit on
for the Tigers, and
Kyle that time.
Called a bunch to go for the first.
And the Tigers looking at a fourth and real long. Well, let's see what happens here now on a fourth down and very long. Back goes Bingaman. He's going to dump it over on the right-hand side over there, but is incomplete. May have been intended for Sinscombe, I guess, but that fell short, and it will be 1st and 10 Vikings now with time running out here in the first half. The ball will be placed on the Viking 30-yard line. Vikings have scored a plenty tonight, or this afternoon rather, 28 points here in the first half rather. Quarterback passing down the right side he goes. Got a man out here and it's incomplete. Oh, Josh Knoll tried to run that one in before he had it. Otherwise, had he waited to catch it, he probably could have gone all the way with that one, but didn't make the catch. He was out there, but missed the football. 2nd and 10 coming up. Okay, now we're looking at a 2nd down and 10. Shotgun formation for the Little Vikings. Quarterback hand has it. He dumps one down the far right side over there. It's going to be almost intercepted as Dale Alvord got a hand on that one, but he was unable to haul that one in. Dieter was supposed to catch it, but Dale Alvord had the best shot at it, and Dale had it flop around over there, but they knocked it down, stopped the clock, and it brings up a 3rd down and 10. Now he goes over the center again, does Hand. Hand will pitch it over this way, little flea flicker, firing it down the other side over there, intended for number 30, James Dieter. But that one is incomplete. Alvord over there to make the defensive play, stopping the clock. And it'll be a 4th and 10. Promineski, the little halfback, had the pass opportunity that time, but just couldn't hit his man out there. And it is 4th and 10. Good snap. And this time the punt is off here, and it's going to be allowed to roll dead here at about the 35 or 6-yard line. And that might have done it for the first half. I'm not sure. Yes, it did. The half ended on that one. And so we have a halftime score of 28-0. The Vikings on top of the Tigers.
We're getting ready here for the action to begin for the second half. The Vikings will receive the ball. And they'll defend the north goal.
Well, to begin the second half of play now, which we're about set to do, the Tigers will kick off to the Williams Valley Little Vikings. And the Tigers trailing 28-zip
0
are going to look to get out of this game without any injuries. I guess it's about all we can hope for, the most we can hope for. But it's another half of football, and you got to play both halves, and so they might as well do the best they can. So let's hope that they can get in there and, you know, look a little better here in the second half. That Viking defense was tough on them. Kyle Bingaman, the quarterback, and also the kicker on the ball club. He'll kick this one off here and Here comes kind of a short kick, taken at the 44-yard line, and he races to the Tiger 48-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 now for the little Vikings on the 48. 1st and 10.
Jason Stinscomb on.
1st and 10 Vikings, as Hand is the quarterback. He's over center for the Vikings. We're going to have some motion, and that will probably cost the Vikings 5. Okay, 1st and 15 now as the first play cost the Vikings 5 on the illegal procedure penalty. Quarterback hands it off. Over there's that number 18, and he gets it right down to the 45-yard line of the Tigers. Promineski with a big run that time for the Vikings. A nice run. Picked up about 10 or so yards on the play. Bring up a 2nd down and 5.
2nd and 5 for the Vikings from the 45-yard line. As Hand brings them.
And they split him up in the backfield this time. Pitches over here to number 80, or 30 rather, and he's going to be thrown down. As coming in there with a good rush is that Byron Hoover. And also number 61 coming in there to make a stop. Ronnie Perkins, not Byron Hoover. Ron Perkins in there to make a stop that time for those little Tigers. You got too many men shotgun formation here now. And back goes Hand. He dumps one long down here. It is incomplete. Intended for number 80, Josh Null.
There by Dale Albert. It's incomplete.
And it goes to an incompletion. Dale Alvord back there making the defensive play for the Tigers. But bring up a 4th down now and about 16 or so, 17, something like that. And the Vikings will kick. Ball's at the 43-yard line. Ooh, high snap. And the kick is off, not too deep at all. Bouncing around the 41-yard line, or 42. Down there by number 80. And it will be 1st and 10, Tigers. Josh Knoll downing the ball for the Vikings. But it will be 1st and 10, Tigers. Jim Buffington checks into the ball game for the Tigers as they set the play up 1st and 10. About the 41 or 2-yard line. Here's the handoff to Stinscomb. Stinscomb up the middle, and Jason dives to the 49-yard line.
49-yard line.
Stopped in there by number 18 of the Tigers, or of the Vikings. And
on the tackle there for the
be 2nd down and about a long 2. 2nd down and maybe 2 or 3. Here's Stinscomb again. Over the left side he goes, and he's dragged down as somebody has him by one leg in there.
Down there by Kevin Dieter.
Kevin Dieter making the stop for the little Vikings. Good run that time by that Jason Stinscomb, though. It is a 1st down. Now at the 42-yard line of the Vikings. Breeze starting to pick up again here at the ballpark. It's been breezy pretty much all day, but a beautiful day. Handoff and going up this time, and let's see. Nick Rickard has it. Nick with a good drive. The Vikings getting a little bit of or the Tigers getting a little more aggressive on the offense. Jason Bowman making the stop in there for the little Vikings. Jason's a defensive lineman over there on the left side of that line for the Vikings. Ball comes loose in there, and somebody's going to fall on it.
The ball, the Vikings recover.
The Vikings have it as number 71, I believe it was. Might have come up with that football.
Here's as though Kevin Hoover fell on
and there will be, let's see.
And possession will change.
The ball spotted at the 37-yard line. 1st and 10, Vikings. 1st and 10 from the 37. Handoff there, and tripped up immediately.
To James Dieter.
And let's see, that was that number 40 in there, Mace, I think. Dustin Mace might have got a hand on him first that time, or Byron Hoover.
There, assisted by Mace.
And no gain on the play, second down 10. Motion goes over on the right side. And the handoff is to that, let's see, number 30 has it. That's a James Dieter, I think. Number 30.
James Dieter carrying the ball.
Dieter with it. And he ran it out to the 40-yard line almost.
Going to bring up
third and 7 now. Let's see if the Tigers can get in there now and get this ball. On the shotgun formation, dumped it over the middle. It is complete to that number 85, and he is dragged down on a good tackle out there by number 32, Byron Hoover. And back here for the Tigers is number 40-something, getting up very slowly, but he's going to be okay. Byron Hoover making a good stop for the Tigers. That probably saved 6 maybe. And timeout now called. As we have an injury here, it looks like it's Mace shaking up a little bit on that last play. I think Dustin's going to be okay. He looks like he might have got kicked in the back. Okay, first and 10 for the Vikings. Handoff is that 18, and he is hit after a yard or so. Pominitsky
the right side of the line there.
Drags ahead for maybe a yard, not too much on that one. A couple of Tigers in there making the stop. Looks like Rusty Gunder might have been in on that mob tackle. Can't have a yard to play, second down and 9. Second down and 9. Hand looking for number 85. He comes back this way, left-handed pass down here. It is incomplete. Intended for number 32, Kevin Dieter, and Kevin was all alone and just didn't make the catch. Wow, but boy, was he alone out there. Tough luck for that young receiver, and good luck for the Tigers on that one. Third and 9.
Third and 9 for the Vikes. From the 44.
Motion over the right side again for the Vikings. Hand dumping one deep, got a man out there. It is complete, and he's tackled inside the 20. As bringing him down out there was that number 40 or number 12 rather, Kyle Bingaman, making the tackle on the play. What a big first down on a big pass play from Hand to Culva.
The first down.
Ball's about on the 15-yard line now of the Tigers. Oops, quarterback kept it that time. He didn't have anybody to hand it to. And that was a busted play that time. Hand wasn't supposed to keep it, but he went to hand it off and no one took it. That's a bad feeling back there. Anyway, it's kind of like ended up with a live grenade in your hand. And he just dove ahead a little bit and lost a yard or two. Second down and about 12. Ball back at about the 17-yard line now. Hand, this time hands it to number 21, and there's no one around, but a flag is thrown out here. He'll go in for the touchdown, but there is a flag on the play, and the flag is back here where holding sometime occurs. Holding is the call against the Vikings. So this one here will be coming back. Tigers get a break out of that one. It's second down and about 23 now, as the touchdown is nullified and the penalty tacked on. Makes it a second and 23. Handoff here is to that number 32, and he's tripped up in there. As Stinscomb come in and got a hand on him, first of all, I think, tripped him up. And then several other Tigers in there making the final stop on him. Gonder, along with number 79, Eric Motter, also helping out on that stop. And it brings up a third down and about 20. Here's the shotgun. Pass back here to 30. 30 fires one into the end zone. Man out there, touchdown. Almost too easy. Josh Knoll has the touchdown as the Vikings really passing very well here this afternoon, and they got the Tigers all befuddled as Knoll is in the end zone and took a real good pass from that number 30. So nice play by the Vikings. They get 6 more, make it a 34-zip ball game, and they'll again try for this extra point. Kicking it.
2 points.
Pretty good snap. Kick is down. Kick is short. Maybe partially blocked. I don't know. But at any rate, no good. And it'll still remain 34-0 now with the Tigers getting the ball back. Tigers got booted last week 33-0 over at Mahanoy, and now suffering a 34-0 specter here in front of them right at the moment. So it's not been a good couple of weeks here for these midgets from Likens.
Zerby, the ball
okay, Zerby has her teed up again here for the Vikings. And he's going to get a chance to kick off once again. We're in the third quarter. Time running down probably in the third quarter. Here's a kick taken out here. It's picked up, dropped. Bingham picks it up at the 20-yard line. Heads upfield now. He's at the 25. Now he is spun down out of there as Hand comes up and makes the stop. One quarterback tackling the other quarterback on that case. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Little Tigers on the 28-yard line, and that ended the third quarter. So one more quarter to survive out here, gang. Hang in there. 8 minutes to play.
1st and 10 from the 27.
1st and 10 Likens from the 27. And here comes Stinscomb. Stinscomb up the middle. Stinscomb is tackled out here on a good stop made by that number 18. Promineski making the stop on him, but a good run that time by Jason Stinscomb. All the way out to the 38-yard line.
11 or 12 yards there.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers. We're just in the early going of the fourth quarter now. Got a 20 or a 34-0 score, and Tigers again trying to avoid the shutout. The handoff, and oh my goodness, Nick is hit almost immediately.
The ball by Aaron Hand.
Aaron Hand come in there and really put a good stop on Nick Rickert that time, and Nick a little bit shaken up on that play. Buffington checks into the ball game. Jer Szymanski coming out, but Nick Rickert looked like he needed to come out, but he's not going to come out. All right. 2nd down and 14. Handoff this time is to Stinscomb, and Jason gets a couple of yards. Probably got nearly back to the original line of scrimmage, picked up 2 or 3. The 3rd down and 11.
And in Bowman.
3rd and 11 now, looking at the Tigers. Back goes Bingham. He dumps one over this way, but it's incomplete. It was intended for Szymanski. But Szymanski not near that one, and will bring up a 4th down now for the Tigers. No, 3rd down. 3rd down and no, 4th down. That's right. The guy hadn't flipped it over. Now he's got it flipped. Okay, 4th down. And
Tigers have 4th down and 11.
11.
Gonna go for it.
Bingham passing. Getting a big rush, and now he can't get it off as the Vikings converge on him.
By Kevin Hoover.
Kevin Hoover in there for the Vikings, along with I think Bowman might have been in there on that tackle also.
10 from about the 26-yard line.
Checks out of the ball game, and the Vikings take over on the 26. 1st and 10. Here's a handoff, and going up the middle there is that number 18, and he is knocked down by several Tigers.
Through the line there for
Rusty Gonder in there making the stop on him, along with Nick Rickert, and there is a flag on that play. Holding call on the Vikings on that play, so that didn't help them, help the Tigers. See, 1st down and about 19. Here's a little reverse, a triple reverse. Coming around this side is that number 80, and he is tripped up on a fine tackle out here that time by that Jer Szymanski. A nice tackle by Szymanski coming up there and making the stop on him. Good job, Jer. Ball back at the 40 or the 36-yard line now. And brings up a second down and about 20 for the Vikings.
Ball on the 36-yard line where the Vikings have second and 20.
Here comes the quarterback hand with it. He's going to keep it, try to go around this side. He's slowed up by Szymanski and then knocked down in there by number 61, Ronnie Perkins of the Tigers. So a couple of good defensive plays right there by the Tigers.
Nathan Barge.
Third down and about 18. Barge in there also for Likens on the stop. Third down and about 18. We'll stay back here, see if they dump it over the middle of that fellow in this little play here. Nope, got to go over on the left side. It is complete as number 21 catches that football and goes in for the touchdown. Well, that was a 33 or 4 yard, whatever, touchdown pass play. Give the Vikings their 40th point. It's now 40-0. And the extra point try will be coming up. They're going to try to kick one again.
Vikings are going to go for the extra 2 points.
There it comes. Kick is up. No good.
And it's no good.
And it will remain 40-zip. And the Tigers will get the ball back again.
That makes a score of 40 for the Vikings and 0 for the Tigers. Bingaman and Stinscomb deep for the Tigers.
Okay, here's the kick following the touchdown. Servey with a good kick.
Derby's kick there.
Let's see, picked up at the 17-yard line. He's at the 20. Now about the 25, and he's going to be tackled out of bounds over here as number 32 comes up and puts a stop on him.
Kevin Dieter
making the hit.
They're making that stop.
And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers on their own 27-yard line. 1st and 10, Likens.
Also.
4 minutes remaining in the ball game as the Tigers get ready to put it in play. And timeout's going to be called now as something was amiss
take a timeout
on the lineup. And be right back. Okay, on the 1st and 10. The Tigers have them lined up this time now, I believe. And this is going to be Stinscomb. Stinscomb spins away from one guy, but then he's tackled as number 30. Drags him down out there. Gain of 2 or so, maybe 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7. Kevin Hoover making the stop for the little Vikings.
Handoff again goes
up the middle. Here goes Stinscomb, and he drives it out to the 34-yard line. Nice run that time by Jason. Bring up a 3rd and 3. Jason Bowman there, number 26, making a stop that time for those Vikings. Here's a handoff to Stinscomb again, and this time he runs into a couple of other tacklers. This time it's going to be number 30 and number 71, I think. James Dieter, 71 also. Or maybe that is James Dieter, I'm not sure. Anyway.
2 minutes remaining in the game.
2 minutes left. And the Tigers say, thank goodness. They're looking at a 4th down and 4.
Ready? Go.
4th and 4 for the Tigers from the 34.
4th and 4. Handoff is to Stinscomb. Stinscomb will not get the 4 as he drives it out to the 35. Maybe picked up a yard or so on that one. Aaron Hand was one of the tacklers in there, and Chris Long. Look at this goes on Chris Long. Making a stop that time.
Possession will change.
And the ball is at the 35-yard line, where it'll be Vikings 1st and 10. Probably a minute and a half or so left here in the game. hand sets him up. Pitches over to the far side. Flags are thrown. Number 30 goes around the left side. This may be against the Vikings anyway. I think it is. The rest of the Vikings are kind of hanging around out here, so I believe this is coming back. Illegal motion is the call against the Little Vikings. So this touchdown run is nullified by the penalty and will bring up a 1st and 15, one would guess. Ball will be spotted back at the 40-yard line and will be 1st and 15 now for the Vikings.
40-yard line, they have it 1st and 15.
Okay, 1st and 10 from the 1st and 15 now. Here's a handoff to Rusty Gunner making the stop. I think 16 or 18 had the ball. Promineski, I guess it was, yeah. And Charles got stopped.
Got back about 4 of the
picked up 4.
Make it 2nd and 11 from the
and Rusty Gunner making the stop in there for the Tigers. Vikings will huddle it up quick here. They'd like to put some more points on the board here now. They've got 40. They're hurrying up to see if they can get some more. There's a pitch over there to that 30. He goes around that left side. This is James Dieter. Well, we lose one man, and he's going to go in for a touchdown, a 35-yard touchdown run for James Dieter. He's had a couple of touchdowns this afternoon, and he gives them their 46th point. It's now 46-0. And an extra point try coming up, and that did it. The football game ended. So mercifully, the time has run out, and with the final score of 46-0, the Tigers drop a tough one here to the Vikings of Williamstown. I don't know how good the Vikings are, but they sure put a bunch of points on the board today against these Vikings, or against these Tigers. So anyway, congratulations to the Vikings and to the Tigers. We're at the regroup and hope maybe next week we can do a little bit better. See you later, gang, and hang in there.